guys. Greg, get us rolling.
Roll sound.
Sound speed.
Camera, a mark.
All right, cue video.
Video cued.
And action. It must be Wednesday. It's BSA-LIVE. I'm teacher Tony, and we have a very intimate class today. We're working with our professionals today, our working musicians and actors. So this is a special class today. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about audition techniques and how you book a job. We're going to go over some of the submissions from our students for a play that we're producing with Michelle as our director. And we're going to talk about what we could do better in our audition classes. All right. So this is nothing but our pros today. Very excited to have. Let's go to Aaron. How you doing, sir?
Doing very well. Just got out of the gym, sweaty, and sitting in my car.
Nice. I'm glad you're all the way over there. You're at least 6 feet away from me, aren't you? In Detroit, Michigan. Yeah, we're here in Los Angeles. Dom was just here in Los Angeles, and now he's back in Minnesota. Dom, what's going on?
Oh, not much. Just the same old thing. Done there, done here. Doing it all.
Nice. Do you miss LA?
Oh, I do a little bit, but it's nice to be back home with my studio inside of a controlled space where we don't have vacuuming or exercise going on.
Yeah, we were experimenting last week with our live stage hybrid with Zoom. It was quite the experiment, but now I see what Dom goes through every week. I'm so glad he's back in Minnesota. That was stressful.
Yeah,
I'm just joking. I appreciate you more than you know. Hey, Greg, how you doing? Speaking of professional musicians, look at all that. You built that beautiful sound stage there, all those gorgeous instruments. What have you been up to? We haven't seen you in a week.
Hey, just loving life here in beautiful Georgia. The weather's cooling down a little bit. It's getting nice. Turn the AC off and save on the bill.
Nice, nice. So we're excited to have our professionals. We're going to critique some videos today. It's going to be a fun little intimate class, and you guys are the professionals. Speaking of working actors, Kevin Gallagher, how are you doing, sir? You were here in LA on the boat. You went out with Harold and some of the students here. What was it like on the boat there? The BSA boat, we're going to call it.
That was a lot of fun, and I've mostly recovered from getting on and getting off the boat.
Yeah.
My rib is healing up, and my back pain is quieted down a little bit. Once I got over that for a few days, they were going to do it again on the following Sunday. I just told Harold, I got to heal up a little more.
Yeah. Well, they actually did. They did do it the following Sunday, and Ray went out with his wife, and Harper came in from Dallas. She flew in to go, and she went on the boat with her dad, Eric, and they used a drone and got some really cool drone shots. So maybe when Ray comes on, he's coming a little late, but he should be on this episode. We might be able to see some of those cool drone shots. But all right, guys, let's get into some work. We're going to talk about auditions. Aaron, I want to talk to you first. So yep. I've been working on a project with Robert Wax, who is one of our guests. You're the lead actor in that. Did you have to audition for that?
I did not audition for that. So it was kind of word of mouth, and Robert had gotten some word that I could act. So recommendation, basically. So that was.
I actually get more work as a producer for acting than I did when I was an actor auditioning. So what I learned in the process of auditions is you stand in line, and most of us hate waiting in line. We like going in the back door, under the velvet ropes, all that Hollywood stuff. Yeah. So if you do get a reputation as an actor that can do the job, then the trick is, how do you get to the producers? How do you get to the decision makers? And that's what we're going to talk about in today's episode. So maybe, hopefully you'll stick around with us. We'll talk about some of the ways that you can book a role. Now, one is straight up auditioning, like getting in a boxing match and going head to head with another actor. And that's old school, and that's the way a lot of people get their parts. But then there's that other way that you go in, you've done your job, you have a big IMDb credit list, you've got a reel that shows all of your work, and you can submit your reel. And then it's politics. You know, like I said, as a producer, I can easily leverage my ability to help produce the show and do, you know, a little small part. I'm not going to take the lead because my name's not big enough to sell a movie. And we'll talk about selling a movie. Now, you're the lead of this series, this TV series. How do you feel with the name recognition you have right now and the ability for us to sell your show? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, for me, I'm just a little poor town Michigan boy, so I'm still. I would say that right now, a recommendation how we would do that. I mean, just as a businessman, like I'm extremely relational in general. So if I get to come out there and pitch it with Robert, which would be incredible, you know, I just want to be part of that whole process because I've never been part of a pitch myself, but I'm extremely business and relationally oriented. And part of what I've learned with the politics, like what you're saying, is that not only politics, but in that politics, there's relationships as well. So I think that if I'm going to sell it to the market in Michigan, I could probably do that. But when it comes to LA, that's a different animal. So I have to approach the animal different. There's a puppy, and then there's a dog that's been on a chain for a while. So
Right,
I
exactly.
have to be able to approach that in LA, for example, or Atlanta, much differently than I would here.
Okay. Well, what you have is some networking because you've connected with us here at BSA. My day job is producing. My girlfriend's job is a showrunner. She's third-party showrunner at Viacom, and that's CBS, Paramount, MTV, BET, that whole list. And so right there's a step up politically. And so what Rob's been asking us to do is to take it to our family. And in that network of Viacom, to maybe go to Sci-Fi or go to one of those networks. So we've been laying the groundwork for that. We've been working on the edit and post and really tweaking for a good pilot, a good edit, giving it everything he has, throwing it all in that project. And then we're going to take it through a buddy of ours, David Doré, who's out here. He was one of the top graduates from Western Michigan, the best in his field. Him and Tim Allen are the two standouts there, and Matt Irvin, my old roommate. These guys are the top guys to come out of Western, and we have a pretty good film and television program there. So we're going to go to him for the final trailer, and then we're going to submit this thing. So when I get permission from Rob to show this, I will show it here for the viewing audience. Dom, I know I'm throwing a curveball, but could you pull up a former email with all the awards that that last short I produced is kind of accumulating? It's under Bengal, and you'll see the Bengal submissions.
Exactly where that is.
You'll see it in your email. Perfect. So what we do is if we can't go directly to the networks, then we go the festival route. And so we take it and try to win awards, which this last film is doing. And so I put Larry Hankin in this project so that we could at least have a name recognition, because this young actor here had never acted, directed, produced, done anything in Hollywood ever. And this is his first attempt. And so I said, well, you're going to need a name, which I just mentioned to you, Aaron. And so we put Larry Hankin in. But look at all these selections, wins for actor, directing, all around film, audience award. So you can flip through these slowly, but this is what's been happening in the last few weeks, last month. I mean, it's just keep going. But this kid had never done anything. Took a couple of my classes, and there's Larry Hankin in the dirty towel there. You guys might recognize him from Friends, Seinfeld, Adam Sandler. I mean, he's done hundreds of big A-list movies. And so gave a little name recognition. People took him serious. They watched the film, and this is the result. This is one way to get known as an actor. If you've never acted, you just do your own projects. And I'm always encouraging you guys to do your own projects. So this is just an example of what we just did a couple months ago. So really happy with this. And then the next one will be Deck, which is yours, Aaron. And we're going to put that through the same pipeline and hopefully have the same results. So little politics. So let's go to Greg. So Greg, I know you're fairly new, coming back because you graduated, you had studied Shakespeare in college. So you actually understand the acting aspect very well. How do you understand the business side, being a musician and dealing with your music? Do you understand the business of Hollywood show business? You're on mute. You're on mute, Greg.
Do I understand the business side? There's so many aspects to the business side. You know, there's so many different, whether you're, you know, in production or distribution, or whether you're in casting, or whether you're in makeup. You know what I mean? There's so many things that put a show together. So I understand the total picture, the big picture that it takes to put it together. You know, I got a little, you know, I was into it a long time ago, and I got a little discouraged because of the politics, and because of the, you know, because of the hustle that you've got to do to get into, you know, through casting, and those lines can be really long, and you know, they can be frustrating. You know what I mean? And I needed money right away, and now I've got time to be able to do what I want to do without worrying about a paycheck so much. And so I'm looking at it with a new pair of glasses.
Well, I think you should try what Aaron did, and you guys should produce your own projects. And you're in Atlanta. I mean, you got a lot of talent there and a lot of crew and production there. So we could talk about some of my crew members out there in Atlanta if you want to team up with them and maybe start working on some of your projects. You are a writer and a producer. You've submitted a couple of your scripts to me, and they're very, very good. And I love the concept. So if you want to talk later offline, we can talk about some of those people I know in Atlanta. Maybe we can get your shorts going.
Yeah,
Usually
beautiful.
that's how we met in the first place,
Yeah,
actually.
exactly.
Yeah,
You
so
know,
what
I've got a
about,
couple more. I've got a couple more that are, you know, in the pipeline for writing. You know, so I have a lot of ideas that come through with writing. You know, I
yeah,
was a limo driver for a long time, and you know, I have saved a lot of stories from a lot of, you know,
yeah,
actors and athletes and, you know, musicians. You know, I've got a lot of experience with that. So.
perfect, perfect. All right, I'm going to go to Kevin, then we're going to show a couple samples of the submissions of our students for a new play that we're producing. I have a play that is going up this weekend with Reverend Leon, and Greg, you know Reverend Leon from Agape. We got his play all produced. He's going to actually perform that this Saturday. We've got another one coming up this next month, which is the Disney Beauty and the Beast, which two of our students, Ethan and Zach, booked some pretty big roles there. And then in December, we're doing Michelle's play, and Dom is going to help us run a very high-end Zoom show, and we're going to talk about all that in the next couple of weeks and how to audition for that. So we're really excited about that project. Aaron, I don't know if you want to get involved, but you're more than welcome from Detroit to do it on Zoom and do a play. But I love plays because there's arcs versus just, you know, do this scene and we'll cut it together and it edits. You know, there's a series been going for 10 years and you jumped on and you jump off. Theater, you get to enjoy the arc and the unfolding, and it's a real wonderful live experience. So I always want to remember my roots in theater. Okay, so Kevin, let's talk about your experience with Dane Cook and live theater at the Teen Choice Awards, the Kids Choice Awards. I always get that mixed up. You're on mute. You're on mute, Kev. It wouldn't be a show without that. You're still on mute. We're gonna get him that shirt, aren't we, Dom?
The space bar is not working.
No worries, no worries. All right, so let's get you unmuted, Kev. There you go. Yep.
Oh, the space bar wasn't working.
Very
I
sorry.
don't know why. Okay.
So talk about your live theater experience with Dane Cook at the Teen Choice Awards, was it?
Teen Choice 2006, mate.
Yes. And so what was that like? Let's talk about auditioning, because that's what today is all about, auditioning. So what was your experience? What did you do different than everybody else? How come you booked?
I got one line that nobody else got, and I knew exactly what they wanted, but I had to listen to the other ones first. That's why I hate to go first in those situations, because I was listening to the way they read this line as I was deciding what my approach was going to be. And the line was Teen Choice 2006 Hope. And so people would read it, the other guys were reading it, Teen Choice 2006. Oh, you know, and this is wrong. And it occurred to me that they're looking for something like Land Ho. And so when they got to me, I used my best Disney pirate voice. This other guy used a proper British dialect. The other guys didn't do any dialect at all. So I used my Disney pirate, you know, like Treasure Island, everything I've seen, which is a West Country English accent. That they all came from the West Country. And they still talk like that today in that region of England. And so I went, Teen Choice 2006, oh! and that got it for me.
And the rest is history. Yes.
Yeah, and there was this little guy with he's an old guy with glasses, and he was working on a laptop at the end of the table. And they said, "Don't mind him. He doesn't have any other place to work." He just kept looking down, and he would look up at me now and then. And I noticed that. And so I knew he was the decision maker.
Exactly.
So I played it up for him. And I didn't think anything of it. They didn't call me for 3 weeks.
Wow.
And I thought, okay, well, and not only that, it wasn't on Actors Access. They had another service called Extras Access, and that's the only place they advertised it. So all these guys were going for the extras role, and that paid a lower price than they had the higher price for speaking role. Got me a Taft-Hartley into AFTRA, which was not part of SAG at the time. Had I joined, I would have been automatically put into SAG. But on the other hand, I got a Taft-Hartley with something else in the SAG, and that's where I remain today as SAG eligible, and I've never joined SAG, so I can audition for both SAG or independent movies.
Right. Well, we often say if you're SAG, you go get SAG actors that have been in the business and the union for a long time, and they're probably, again, we're talking politics. We talked about that earlier. If you're going to choose someone between an unknown and someone known, and you're equally talented, you're going to go with the person you know. So it's a lot of politics, and we'll go deeper and deeper into that. So right now, Dom, let's show a couple samples of what it's like to audition on Zoom or in your own comfortable space, because we're still socially distancing. So you guys need to understand lighting, your own sound, your own background, your own wardrobe, your own props, your own tempo, your own direction. You're really in charge of your career. We're going to show a couple samples that are good and maybe some that aren't so good. And then we're going to ask you guys your opinions on what you thought, if they get the callback, and what you think they could do to make it better. All right. So our coaches today, we're very happy to have Kevin, Greg, and Aaron. And you guys are going to help us show our viewing audience how to do online submission, and then how to get better and better and better by practice. All right, Dom, let's show that first audition. This is William. I'm working on a project with William right now. It's about Uber drivers.
Navy security, stand down. Chief Warrant Officer Rafi Nazar, please identify yourself. Where is he? Ma'am, are you his wife?
Fiance.
Guy's not here, Ross. You know where your fiance is?
At work.
No, he's not.
Kay, should we reschedule? Hey, what's going on?
You might want to rethink that wedding. Unless you don't mind marrying a traitor and a spy.
All right, that was for NCIS. It's current. I don't even know if I'm allowed to air this, but I just did. He and I are working on a project, pretty big project. Now, did you guys notice everything was dulled down? The background was gray, his clothing was gray. Everything he did was not trying to upstage the performance. A lot of times you'll see these young actors in a very colorful background, or outside with too much, it's upstaging them. So let's go to Aaron. What did you think of his audition? Would you give him the callback, and what could you see him doing better, and what did you like?
Would I give him a call back? I mean, not exactly knowing what it's for, I kind of need that detail, but I think that he did well. He stayed in his eyes, he stayed in his character, but I just feel like there's need to be more intensity. There were places in there where I would want him to like really drive it home, like when he's talking to her. I mean, obviously right before he delivered the last line, well, you might want to rethink that marriage. Like, okay, I felt like in a lot of ways it was here a lot, and then there was points when it almost toward the end where it kind of flatlined and came up. So, I mean, overall, I thought it was really good. He stayed where he needed to be, but just more intensity.
Okay. And with casting, I had the blessing of working with Mary Jo Slater for a year over at MGM. And what I learned is we're looking for physical character types. So here's the process that we did. We would get so many envelopes that we would fill an entire room, boxes and boxes with auditions. And we would only open the ones because of time limitations that was from a reputable agent, because we knew the agent did the work to hire the actor that were capable. Everyone in that audition, if it was a reputable agent, was capable of doing the job. So we trusted that process. So we only took it from agents. So you guys want to get an agent. That helps you get past some of this cattle call style of auditioning. Now, the next thing we do is we open up that envelope with all of the agent submissions, and we put them in the category they fit: boy, girl, mom, dad, villain. And we no longer, we look at their face and see if the face looks like what we're looking for, what we think the writer wrote. We don't know how good or bad their acting is. And we make a pile of maybe, say, 10 of people that fit the categories that we're auditioning for from a reputable agent. Now we take every single one of those piles and we flip them over. We have no idea who we put in that pile. And we look at their resume. We see if it's industry standard. We see the credits they've worked on. We see if it's any of our friends have produced shows they know that we can ask about them. We go to their social media and see what they've posted on social media. So be careful what you guys are doing on your social media, because yes, we do look at your work. And then we pull out the ones that we don't think have any credits. They're not industry ready yet. We just don't feel they're professional. We don't know who's on the other side. We've got it down to, say, 5 that we want to call in. Now what we do is we call them in and we audition them, and we give them usually 2 takes. We give them 1 take to do it their way. So what I try to do is bring what I know I'm capable of as an actor, and I bring it. And maybe even it's not right for the piece, I want them to see what I'm capable of doing as an actor. So I'm going to go left field. They're going to be like, that's not what we expected, but man, did he bring it. Right? Because I'm thinking, oh, they want to give me direction. They're going to give me direction anyways. If I do exactly what I know they want, then I'm not going to change much, which means they're not going to know that I can take direction. So see the psychological game you're playing in the audition room? So now I've shown them what my range is, but I'm not going to get that opportunity to show them for the piece because that's not what was appropriate for the piece. Now, if I'm blessed and they ask me to try it again, now I do exactly what they're asking for. I take direction, I listen, I do what they want, and chances are I'm going to get the call back. I've been very lucky to work on over 2,000 projects, from producer to actor to blah, blah, blah. It's a lot of projects. You learn a lot over those years. It's been about 26 years in LA, 10 years in Michigan. So about 36 years in the industry of art. So what I'm trying to share with you guys is how to book. That's what today is all about. It's politics, it's psychology, and it's just raw, good acting. Okay, so Greg, what were your thoughts on that submission?
He had a good look. He was clean cut. He had a youthful look. I think he photographed very well. So visually, he was good. He was appealing. I don't know the background of the scene, but it looked like he had a gun, and I just thought maybe he might be a little more, antsy, so that the person at the other end of that gun was a little unsure whether or not he was going to use it.
Okay.
Because he kind of just held it steady, and I just thought if he was maybe a little more antsy with it, it would incite more fear.
Okay, very well. And again, I appreciate your guys' wisdom. Kevin, any thoughts on that submission?
I thought it was pretty good, but I also agree with Aaron that in a real situation, were that a military man, he would be a bit more intense.
Okay. So what we would do in the audition room is we would give him that note, and I, in my auditions, would give him a second shot to see if he takes direction, which I know he could. I actually know him, and he's a great actor. So he was probably playing it down because it was NCIS, and sometimes they want you to play it down versus up. But you listen to your director and your casting directors. No disrespect to casting directors, but I trust my director over a casting director, because a lot of times casting directors are casting directors because that's what they do, they cast. But it doesn't mean they don't produce an act, and it might be just that one time they're casting. And I love my casting directors because I couldn't do anything without them. But, we all kind of start as actors. We all start as actors, and we kind of gravitate in, like I gravitated into producing and distribution. Because
one thing I learned in Ivan's class was that reality does not always translate into good drama. Sometimes, there were times, like one time I was doing a bedroom scene where I'm talking to my wife in bed. Well, they wanted me to speak a lot louder. You wouldn't do that in bed. In bed, you talk softly, and that was one of the times I ran into that several times where you change it up a bit just for the sake of what you're doing.
Yeah, we call it Hollywood liberties, right? Hollywood magic. We gotta make sure it translates. And so the reason I'm using Zoom auditions right now is because in a room, on stage, or on a big movie theater screen, or on a television screen, or on your watch, or your little iPhone, they're all different mediums, but the emotion needs to be authentically real. That's never going to change, connecting emotionally. But television is this medium. Theater is this medium. I mean, not theater, movies is this medium. You got more room. Television is using this angle. Theater is big because you have a big audience, and it dissipates as it goes to that back audience member. So you need to know the medium you're working on. But again, you need to connect emotionally always. But then the question is, what is the medium you're using? Okay, so let's look at another sample. I'm not going to go in order, Dom. I'm sorry. I want you to go to the piece from Bangle, how he booked the role in this short that's winning all these awards. So it should say, I'll pull mine up so I can help you find it. It is towards the bottom. It's amazing cold read audition via your end. So amazing cold read audition. This is what booked the role for this guy. The director asked me, should we work with this guy? And you guys tell me if you see what I saw. Okay, did you find it, Dom?
1 second here.
Yep. Kind of went out of order, so my fault.
That one is not up. We cannot play that one because it's not on Vimeo anymore.
It's a dead link?
Yep, dead link.
All right, let's go to Andy Martinez.
Up and ready.
All right, we'll play Andy. He actually booked the role off this audition too. So I'm showing you guys that people that booked, and this was how they booked. Again, Greg.
Andy Martinez Jr. I'm 6 feet tall. I live right here in Los Angeles, California.
LAPD, Detectives Bosch and Edgar, here to interview an inmate, Pedro Alvarez.
Nope.
What do you mean, nope?
As in, we don't have him, nope.
Well, look again.
Transferred to federal custody last night.
Say where?
Nope.
Unbelievable.
And don't believe me? Get yourself a copy of the removal order over at Records and Detainers.
All right, so if you guys notice the same gray background and clothing, and these guys are working actors, so there must be something to that. Let's go to Aaron. Your thoughts?
He was perfectly annoying. I loved it. Like I just felt like I was in that moment just because him making the choice to eat, that was super annoying. And I love that. I think that was humorous. So for me, everything from his note to his chewing, which was loud, to his responses emotively, I'm glad he made it. That was great.
He moved you, right? Whether good or bad, he moved you.
Yeah.
So he booked, and that's exactly what he did on set, the exact same thing. And it was a great episode. It was like CSI or one of those shows. But yeah, he killed it. He killed it. So he's been on the show as a guest expert. He's shared his wisdom with our young actors, and very proud. He is a dear friend of mine. I produced a short with him as well. That did very well. All right, Greg, thoughts?
Do you know if he took the personal liberty to eat, or was that something he was?
Oh, absolutely. 100% his choice.
Okay. Then I say that was very good because
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, that's, he was doing some business there, but he was eating, and to do business and eating and carry your lines, that takes some work,
It took some courage too, because you could really mess up or you could do really well.
Dry food too.
Yeah, he took a risk, and I think it paid off. But yes, absolutely. You have to be careful with props, guys. You don't want props to upstage you. But if you use them, like Aaron mentioned, to perfectly annoy us, he succeeded. But you know, he's a professional. He works all the time. All right, Kevin, your thoughts? He's eating. Kevin, my comedic relief.
Perfect. You're not annoying.
All right, last chance for final words, Kevin. All right, that's Kevin's comment for you guys. All right, Dom, let's pull up.
Sorry, I can't pull anything up. I'm too busy eating my burger.
You guys are funny. Let's pull up Ella Grace. She just submitted this. We've seen her do it a million times in class.
Up and ready.
I told her to record it. And now she's not a working actress, but she did get a top agent manager. And she's getting ready to go off and start doing some big stuff over at Disney and Nickelodeon. Now, if you notice her background and her business and her juxtaposition, you'll notice a difference between someone that's got raw talent and someone that's actually honed their talent, like the last two that we saw. So let's take a look at Ella Grace, one of my students here.
Have any of you seen a toad? A boy named Neville's lost one. Oh, you're doing magic? Well, let's see it then. Are you sure that's a real spell? Because it's not very good, is it? Now, I've tried a few simple spells myself, and they've all worked for me. For example, Oculus Reparo. That's better, isn't it? Holy cricket! You're Harry Potter. I'm Hermione Granger, and you are Pleasure. Well, nobody in my family is magic at all, so it was ever such a surprise when I got my letter. But I was so pleased, of course. Now, I expect we'll be arriving soon, so you'd better put on your robes. Oh, and by the way, you've got dirt on your nose. Just there. Did you know?
All right, so we've seen this a lot, those of you that watch or have been part of the class for the last year and a half, 2 years. But she's done it so many times that she knows the marks to hit. She knows how to say the line. She's great with her accent. But there's just, you could tell she's tired, and you can tell that she phoned it in, right? And so you guys, this stuff is good for her to watch. She needs to know how to get better as an actress. She's very gifted. I would give her the call back because she's so freaking adorable to watch. We just all love her, and she's gonna work. But what could we say to encourage her to be just a little bit more like the last couple that we saw? What does she need? Her background different? Her looking at the camera? You guys share openly. Again, she's very young, so she's going to watch this. But let's talk to her and tell her what you think we could do to increase. She's going to do well. I know she's going to do well. But I see a little tweak is going to make her from night and day. Aaron?
She's so stinking cute. It's crazy. It is funny. Like she fits the role perfectly. And I was kind of distracted, to be honest, just because like I'm paying attention to her accent, her movements and everything, her body language. And I think that, yeah, I can tell what you're saying, that she seemed a little tired. So, but I still felt like if I could put a percentage to it, I'd say she's 75% there ish in that area. But I think, yeah, the background, the light switch, I got distracted if she's going to hit the wand on the light switch, turn the light off on herself or not. But I just think totally she's going to do something. She's cute as a button. She's super talented, and raw talent. I see what you're saying, because there's technicality where you know how to look, you know where to look, you know how to move, how to pose, and she's not completely there yet. You could tell she knows she's doing something, but what do you call it? How do you put a title to what I'm doing right now? But I mean, I think she's phenomenal, and
Yeah,
again, her beauty and her personality is going to take her a long ways too.
yep, exactly. And that's the politics of Hollywood. Sometimes you just fit perfectly into the mold they're looking for. I think the tweak she needs is an emotional connection. I think that's all she is missing. She's done it so many times. She's playing it by the numbers. She knows what to do, and she does it. But she needs to connect emotionally, I think. And she's young, so there's a question of, does Disney and Nickelodeon require that emotional connection? But I know she's capable of it. So she's just so good that she just does it. But I think the next step for her is going to be emotional connection. And again, if we saw the last auditions, you notice the backgrounds weren't upstaging the actors where hers was upstaging her. Just the background. So you guys need to be aware when you're finding the place you're going to audition for, You really don't want your background or your lighting or your wardrobe or your props to upstage you and have you distracted because of that. Okay. So just a little for you guys watching and learning how to audition and how to submit. We haven't gotten into slates yet. So let's go and talk about, I'll come to you, Greg. Well, let's do it now. Greg, and then Kevin, let's talk about Ella, and then we'll go into slating, what you have to do to slate.
For Ella, she's cute as a button. She's young and everything. I don't think the background bothered me as much as I was aware of her accent. She seems to be playing a British. It's a British accent, was what I picked up. And there's so many different British dialects. You know, there's a commoner, and then there's the prim and the proper. And she seemed to be geared towards the prim and the proper English. And with that, that requires the character to be prim and proper as well. So exacting in her pointing, exacting in her movements. I'm prim and I'm proper, maybe even a pinky up.
Mm.
I'm the queen's daughter, don't you know who I am? You know, so just more exacting with her.
I love that, more precise. So that's a great keen observation. So thank you. We'll share that with her. Kevin, any thoughts?
Exactly. She's speaking the Queen's English, and like they do on BBC, is like they do on pretty much all of their broadcasts and films. And she's got a good start. She's got a bit more to go on that, but to be able to do that at her age is absolutely amazing. And that's quite an undertaking what she took on there. You know, if the British ever want to laugh at Americans trying to play Brits, they always bring up Dick Van Dyke.
Yeah.
What he did in Mary Poppins. They go,
Yes.
oh, that's like Dick Van Dyke.
We still love him.
So
We still love him. He's still.
Oh, I love Dick Van Dyke. Yeah. He was the wrong guy.
Yeah, no, he's awesome. All right, guys, so let's go into Dom.
I also have one quick thing to say about that too.
Yeah, go for it.
I can tell the difference between having her just do it in class, not 100% prepared. Even though she was tired inside that clip, I could kind of see she was a little bit more inside of it than just being tossed in during class. Mm-hmm. So she had a little bit more sass going than usual, kind of just like, oh, I am so important. And I love that inside of there. That was awesome.
She's great. Well, thank you, Dom. Chime in anytime you want. So let's go to Avery. Avery is a professional working actor and now director. He just got a scholarship at a prestigious university and he's studying directing. He took my directing courses and he gave us some nice recommendation here at BSA-LIVE, but he's doing really well as a director. You guys may actually have the pleasure of working with him. He's just on fire right now. But this was his audition when he was an actor with a slate. So pay attention to the slate.
Did you find a cell phone on the table? Glitter on the case?
Kind of wanted to keep it. The phone, not the case.
Do I know you?
Kind of. Our families know each other. I'm Aaron Thompson.
Oh, yeah. I remember hearing about you.
Yeah, our families do go way back. I'm sure we probably met at gatherings at some point. You're Rachel Jones, right? I'm new in town. I was looking for my cousin. Supposed to be meeting you here soon. What happened to your hand?
Hot stove. Stupid me.
Really?
No.
You want to talk about it? No pressure if you don't.
I just trusted someone that I shouldn't have.
Well, I'm glad you're all right. And I'm glad I found your phone. Could have been someone else.
Someone who likes glitter? You gonna be around town for a while?
That's the plan. It was nice to meet you, Rachel.
Nice to meet you too.
All right, I guess it did not have the slate, so a lot of times they do. Dom, I'm going to send you one more with Riker. I'm not sure if they've taken this offline, but if they haven't, we're going to show that. So let's talk about, Aaron, let's talk about Avery. He worked on that scene with me when he was in class. And so, but did you notice the background again? Real gray. The
Yeah.
ones, the professionals do the gray. So go ahead, Aaron.
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, his first two lines, I was not even existent. Like I was just, there was something about his aura where I was just totally sucked in pronto. And as soon as he lifted up his phone, I'm like, I'm shook. So then that's when I came back to, and then I couldn't like help. I kept trying to pull myself out the entire time, but for some reason, the way he was holding himself and his body language, his eyes, his movement, his stillness in it, something just kept pulling me back in. So I feel like he did a phenomenal job at stealing me and stealing my attention. So I mean, I don't really have too much bad to say about it, honestly.
Yeah, and he actually booked that part as well. So very proud of him. We worked really hard on that. Greg, any comments on what you witnessed?
It was very good. He has a good look. I like the background being clean like that. He had a good voice too. His voice was very clear. His rhythm, his cadence was good. I noticed the eyes darting back and forth, and I don't know what to say about that.
Honesty, that's the best way to approach it. So he
Yeah.
needs to pick a focal point.
Yeah.
Unless
maybe.
there's multiple characters, then they need to be multiple focal points. But if that kind of pulled you out, then that's something that needs to be addressed.
But then he said he was looking for someone, so maybe that was his
Mhm.
way of looking around for who he was looking for, you know. But
Exactly. So, but it needs to be clear, actors, that if you need to know in your room, you need to see everything that's in your room: doors, windows, people, villains. You need to see it. And you're going to do a lot of green screen work in today's movies, so they'll put a little dot on the wall, and those will be monsters later on. So I don't know, Aaron, have you done green screen work yet?
Not yet. I'm excited.
Although in your short, you had a dead body, you did have to work with something that wasn't there, that wasn't.
That wasn't. We knew something.
Yeah, so you had to imagine it to be there for us to put the body there.
Absolutely did. Yep.
Yeah, so you have to believe it. All right, let's go to Kevin. Any comments? And Dom, I sent you that email of Riker.
Yes, and that one does not have a slate in it either.
Okay, well, we'll just show Riker's performance. I'll find one with a slate. I had Soraya do one with a slate, so we'll use her after Riker. All right, Kevin.
Who are you talking about again?
The last video we watched. That's some good stuff. What's behind you?
Oh,
What chemicals are those behind you, Kevin?
yes, I'm afraid I was daydreaming.
Okay, well, we'll come back to you. Let's go to Riker, Tom. It wouldn't be the same show without Kevin Gallagher, let me tell you. All right, cue video.
Okay, here we go.
And action.
We are going.
Dee Dee.
Bronson? Oh my god, you look so different.
Yeah, I grew up a lot, like 5 inches.
That's so much. Sorry, whoa, I don't know why my voice did that, huh? But that's cool, dude.
You look the same pretty much. I'm still covered in dirt. You guys live in the same house?
Yeah, our new neighbors suck.
Word. Man, that cul-de-sac would be sick to skate now. I picked up skating in Boulder. I'm getting pretty good.
That's sick.
And it's harder than it looks, too. So, how's Cleo?
Normal, late to pick me up.
Wait, she's coming right now?
Who knows, but she's supposed to. I didn't know you and her were even friends.
You mean we all hung out? I mean, me and you would do dude stuff, but she'd I say hey, or what's up, sometimes. Hey, what's up, Cleo?
Holy shit, Bronson? Oh my god, you got so tall.
Yeah, I totally grew up. It's crazy. You look bigger. I mean, sorry, not bigger. I meant you look taller. Or not. Maybe not, I don't know.
Well, I should go. It was good seeing you.
Yeah, you too. You don't look like cow shit. Yeah, but by the way.
Tell your mom I said hey.
All right. So Riker and I worked on that for a long time, and when he first started doing it, he wasn't seeing it then saying it, right? There was a lot of moments. Did you notice, like, he saw her coming, so he responded to what was happening. He wasn't jumping the gun. He was staying in the moment. It was a little by the numbers. I do have to be honest. It was a little by the numbers. But when we first did it, he wasn't hitting the beats. And so I said, you got to hit the beats. And we brought in the skateboard that gave him some stuff to do with his nervous energy and spin the wheels. And then just the jacket, notice the gray background again, and notice the, he had a lot of things that he was in the moment. So he was riding this wave versus resulting to the end, getting to where he's headed, overplaying the punchlines. He brought it, he did a great job. And guess what? He booked the part and he was in the show, and the show aired on, I think, television, or I'm not sure where it aired, but it was a big show for him. He did a really good job. So this audition is what he submitted, and it got him the job. Okay. So let's go to Aaron. What were your thoughts?
I thought, good job. I think that, oh shoot, the pacing, I think for me, that was the thing that stuck out a lot, is the pacing was kind of, emotively, I was feeling like his pacing just threw off his emotions in the moment. Just personally, I think that overall I was paying a lot of attention to his pronunciation, the cadence, and how he's saying everything. I thought that was fun. I mean, but I also feel like there was one thing to work on, was the moment of, sure, what was I going to say? Basically, where, I don't know, we'll leave it at that. But I thought overall, I thought that it was very good. And this is his second, third, how many films has he done?
Oh, he's gone off to work like crazy after this. I mean,
Yeah,
he's a rising superstar. But what happened was, he's got a look, right? It's obvious the girls just love him. He's got that, Rob Lowe look, Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, right? But now his acting is stepping up. That is matching the look. And he's come a long way in his acting too. So once you match your character tight, it's all over. And he's just on fire right now. I'm very proud of Riker. If you can't tell, it's Holden's brother, and I'm proud of Holden too. But again, we worked really hard on him to understand, you have to see it before you say it. You can't just say the lines because they're the lines. You can't just look at a script and memorize your lines and say it. You really need to understand, what are you saying and why, and what's moving it forward, and stay in. Don't get ahead of yourself. So I think he did a great job there. Emotionally, I'd like to connect them again, more emotional, but these kids are young. I think he was 14, 15 there or something. He was real young. So Greg, any comments?
It was good. If the part was for him to be a stoner surfer kid, boom, he got it.
Yeah, and it's not who he really is. He's a good Christian boy with no badness in him that I know of. He's good friends with Dom as well. But yeah, he's definitely, that's not his character type. Not at all. He is not who he is whatsoever.
Sure. So he played that role of that kind of stoner surfer,
Just the bad boy.
In
He was the James Dean, Marlon Brando bad boy.
Yeah, exactly. I might have downgraded his wardrobe a little bit, made him a little more, surfer t-shirt maybe, or Billabong, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. So
but that's great.
we worked on that too, because Hollywood doesn't grow much. Like, if you watch movies from the 40s, 50s, 60s, and to today, there's always the bad boy. Yeah. And the bad boy always has a leather jacket on, right? So I'm like, just put the leather jacket on, right? Hold the skateboard for the cool surfer dude thing. But the leather jacket's going to suggest, okay, he's the bad boy. Versus, there's always good guy wears black, good guy wears white, the standard traditional good guy always wears white, the bad guy wears black. So we just played into the character type. But again, for him, we were working on emotional connection and hitting the beats. And I think he had a wake-up call on what it meant to understand what you're saying before you say it. Same thing with Mila and Kendall. They went off to kill it once they had that wake-up, that light bulb went off, understanding, don't say it because it's in your head. Say it because you feel it. More Meisner, right? If you guys are studying Meisner and Stanislavski. Okay, Kevin, any comments on what you witnessed? And you guys all know, you guys have known Riker for a long time.
He's looked like, it sounded like a young kid. that rides skateboards. He was pretty convincing as what he's portraying, I thought. And if he's nothing at all like that, that's even better. Wow.
Yeah, no, it was all acting, 100%. All right, guys. Well, let's go into Soraya. Now, Soraya's got some technical issues that we're working on. She's really new to acting. She's 15 as well. And she did it I said, do it. She did it. She sent it. And here it is. But there's some technical things we need to work on. But she's also got a character type that I think is going to book commercially right away. I think she's going to go off and do really, really well. So let's do Soraya real quick. This is a mock commercial for iPad. She was doing this during our commercial class, which we were doing a couple weeks ago, and just working on what it's like to audition for commercials. But again, you'll see the shakiness, you'll see the background, you guys will see it. But again, I want you to look at where we see her going. Okay. All right. Go ahead and cue video.
This is what we believe. Technology alone is not enough. Faster, thinner, lighter, these are all good things. But when technology gets out of the way, things can become delightful, even magical. And that's when you leap forward. And you end up with something like this, an iPad 3.
Okay, that noise was Dom, not her. To give her the benefit of the doubt, she would not have submitted that. That was Dom. But so
I might have a muted my mic when I take a bite during the live.
Yes, besides the noise, good thing I watched these videos before. The video shakiness bothered me a lot. But the cuteness and her ability to really sell the iPad, I bought into. And I think she, with a little bit of coaching, is going to go a long way. I really do. So you watching the show, if you want to cherry pick her now, I would advise doing it now because she's well on her way. All right, Aaron, your thoughts? Minus the sound.
I would have gone, Dom, you and your chips.
You're welcome.
Man, I think she's super cute for real. And her wardrobe choice just like made her even that much more. I just, the physicalities and all that, super cute. But again, you kidding me? That was some of her first. I thought that was phenomenal. To be honest, like I feel like she was using her personality. You can tell she's kind of bubbly as a person. She's using her personality, and I think she just really sold me.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Greg.
Yeah, she's a beautiful young lady. I've seen her before. I've seen improvement from what I've seen before, even. And the movement bothered me too. That takes away from your focus. And I think it's product placement. So she's selling a product. And the advertisers are like, where's my product? I want to see my product. I want to see my logo. I want to see my name. So I don't know if she should have had it there the whole time or bring it in. That would be my only thing,
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. So again, you guys, this being a technical observation, her background was too busy. Her camera was moving. The product wasn't where it should be for focal point, but everything else was great. So that's fixable. We can fix that. We can't really fix your character type. So Soraya, if you're watching this, you're well on your way. So keep doing what you're doing. Keep taking the courses and the classes, and we will tweak that so that you're off and I can brag about you like I do all my other students that have had a pretty bright career already just since 2020. All right, guys, Kevin's not here with us. He's here with us, but he's not here with us. But is he ever here with us? It's Kevin Gallagher. All right, guys, let's see if there's any other videos. Otherwise, we're going to start wrapping it up with final words.
Sterling is up, and the Stefan has a lot of music, so I do not think we.
Yeah, we won't do that. Let's do Sterling. So Sterling just sent this in at the very last minute, but he slipped it in. There was one word that we had to bleep out, which Dom did, and
the second one later on too.
Oh, was there? You caught that? Thanks, Dom. I'm so glad you're stage director. All right, so this is out of his character type for sure, but he wanted to do it. This is from White Chicks. Cue video.
Hello everyone, my name is Sterling Baston. I am 22 years old, and I will be doing a monologue from the movie White Chicks. Thank you. credit card? ID, you say? Oh my god. I am so freaking pissed. I mean, first off, my doctor messed up my nose job, even though I told him that I want to look like Gwen Stefani, and then I end up coming out of the surgery table looking like freaking Shrek. And then of course I come here, and then Mr. Hampton right here, yes, whoever you are, yes, thinks that I'm just some slut with some fake boobs and blonde hair off to a Hugh Hefner party. What? I'm gonna have a BF. Yes. I'm gonna have a fit. Oh my god. Oh my god. You mister, are in so much trouble right now, okay? Let me tell you. I'm gonna talk to your superior. No, better yet, you know what? I'm gonna write him a letter. Oh, yes. Oh, you're in trouble now. Yes, you have no idea. Dear Mr. Hampton, I am a white, yes, white woman from America. Thank you.
I just gotta laugh because his sense of humor is great, right? Totally miscast. Not his fault. Nothing he can do about it. It's comedy, and his tempo was off. You line on line on line on comedy. There's no I don't care what you think you saw in the movie. You don't have the same parameters. You don't have the same props. You don't have the same environment. You line on line. He didn't do that. I could pick this apart, but I love him so much. His commitment and the willingness to do it. I would just bring him in because he made me laugh. That was his whole purpose. He wanted to make me laugh, and he did. So I would not give him the call back, but I would bring him on set as a PA and have fun with him on set. I love him dearly. He's hilarious. So let's go to you, Aaron.
He was hilarious for sure. Very funny. Like he was agreed. There was a lot of dead space. There's a lot of the speed, the tempo, the pace. Just when you're writing stuff, that becomes uninteresting very quickly. So I mean, that kind of lost me. The background, of course, and the noise and the all that going on, which is fine. It's stuff to always work on. But I thought he was hilarious. I can tell. I don't know him from Adam, but I can tell that he's a very funny person in real life. Just his mannerisms, his ability to put that out there, kind of had a Jim Carrey-esque to him a little bit. But I don't know. I love it. I'm biased.
Yeah, I'm going to keep working with him because I do see a side of him that I've never seen before, and it's almost the same as Dom. Has the same thing that Dom has. So we might want to do Dumb and Dumber, Dom, where you and he do that. That might be fun. Just something to think about. But I didn't have a chance to critique him because he hit the deadline. He submitted at the very last minute, and I didn't have a chance to really view it. But I do know that if we looked at the ones that booked, they always had a very clean background, very gray. They were very clear with their sound and their lighting. They had mastered all of that, the technical. You can lose a job as a great actor because of the technical. So be very aware. You don't want to cost yourself a job because it's your fault. You want it to be because you can't change your character type and somebody else was more physically right for the part, or the chemistry was more appropriate for the other actor that they may have booked. But if it's your fault, which is your lighting, your sound, your angles, your props, your delivery, your timing, that's your fault, and that's fixable, right? So let's go to Greg.
Yeah, that was fun to watch after watching the other ones. You know, the lighting, you know, just really bothered me a lot. The lighting was, you know, I kept having to go past that. Okay, look past the lighting. But when I, you know, when I could do that, I just love his character, his energy, his memorization of the lines, his delivery. You know, he was really into it. You know, he was really into it, and I was impressed with that. You
Yeah,
know,
it's funny. It's like Robert Downey was a white man playing a black man playing a white man, if you guys remember that. Well, this was Sterling being a white boy playing a black male playing a white woman. So it's pretty twisted if you know the backstory. All right, let's go to Kevin. Any thoughts?
That was Cedric, right?
Yes.
I loved it. I couldn't figure out what he's playing a woman. You know, once I noted, I realized he was doing that. I just started laughing. And, you know, he brought up something about how he stutters one time. I've never noticed it because he's worked it into his parts.
Mm-hmm.
He's made that part of his delivery. And it's like when he played The Godfather. And, well, Brando kind of did that a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
you know. If I would never have noticed unless he brought that up.
Well, we worked on it for a couple classes really hard, and the director that booked him in the movie that he's doing right now, the reason he's not on set today is he booked the lead role in a movie, and he got rid of his stutter, and the director's like, no, don't do that, bring it back. He's like, I don't know if I can force it to come back. We had worked on it because we slowed down his thinking and his breathing, and we were able to get rid of it. If you've ever seen the movie The King's Speech and you have other ambient noise going, we used a lot of the technique that the professionals use, and we erased it. But when he's improvising and he's thinking, that's when it comes up. But if he knows the lines, it's not going to come up because he's not thinking. So it's that part of the brain that's the thinking. So we had to send him back there. So he and I did some improvising, and I threw a couple curveballs, and then he started stuttering again because he was like thinking. So we've isolated where it comes from. And the director's like, don't get rid of it. He's like, well, how do I get it back? So that's what I said. You got to do a little improvising. It's going to come right back because it's just that part of that particular brain. But he's a genius. He's a very smart man. He speaks multiple languages. He's hilarious. He just doesn't understand the rules of comedy. So I'll have to teach him some of those. So he gets his timing. He understands opposites. He understands setup, punchline, rules of three, and we'll go through that during the month of comedy, which we've already passed. We'll come back to it. But all right, guys. So that pretty much. Dom, you want any comments? Final comments on? He has multiple names: Sterling, Cedric. I mean, he has like 4 names.
Mr. S. They all have S's in them.
Yep.
That was awesome. The angle kind of threw me a little bit, but I looked past that and looked at what he was doing, and considering that he's able to work in the stutter, he's able to play this comedic role. It was fun to watch, and it made me laugh too.
I was laughing the whole way, but it's because I know him, so I was in on the joke. But if he was really auditioning for the part, he wouldn't have booked it. But as a person that's got the ability to be hilarious, we just need to find his lane. Like you said, Jim Carrey. Once Jim Carrey found his lane, there was no stopping him, and there was nobody better than him. So you guys got to find your lane. And again, that's what we do here at BSA. I really thank you guys, our experts today, Aaron, Greg, Kevin, and then of course, Dom, who's our stage director, becoming an expert and a funny character actor. Really excited to help you guys learn what it takes to audition online to get the part. Then once you get the part, how do you keep the part? And that's what we're going to get into next month is scene study through monologues, comedic and both dramatic monologues. And then we get into December, which is our showcase month. And we're going to be showcasing the whole year of prep is all going to pay off in a theater production we're doing with Michelle. So if you guys want to audition for that, send in your comedic monologues the way we just showed you. Then we go into live auditions on Zoom. We go into a table read on the 10th of November. We do a dress rehearsal on the 15th of December, and we do the show on the 16th of December. So again, if you want to participate, just submit to truthoddareauditions@gmail.com. Truth or Dare Auditions.
I can put that email quick too.
Let's see what Dom's going to pull up for us. Truth or Dare Auditions, plural, @gmail.com. And you guys can submit. You got one more week to submit, and then we go into the actual casting process. Okay, guys. So hopefully this helps you if you're wondering what you do to audition. All right, there we go. This is our little thing. So actors and musicians, again, Greg, we're looking for some music to add to the play. If you want to participate in that, you can as well. BSA Live is casting an original play, Truth or Dare, written by Michelle Walton, L. Walton. Send your self-tape comedic monologues and or original songs by the 29th of October, 2021 to Truth or Dare Auditions @gmail.com. Callbacks are the 3rd of November of 2021. We're doing this on Zoom, and the dates are the 15th dress rehearsal, 16th show date, and what's not on here is November 10th is the table read. All right, guys, that is another episode of BSA Live. This is a little different version with our guest expert coaches showing us how to book a role. Any final words from anybody? Aaron, Greg, Kevin, Dom, final words?
Oh, you know, back in the day, they had a saying, supposing they had a war and nobody came. Well, supposing they had an acting class and nobody came.
Guess what? Teacher Tony's always going to be ready.
Yeah.
Always ready. All right, guys. I am a very
lucky
lucky
if you're looking
because what's that?
I have to say too, if you're looking to book anybody who can eat very loudly off camera, I'm here.
All right. Like I was saying, luck, which I'm very lucky, is opportunity meets preparation. I'm as prepared as I can possibly be. I get a lot of opportunities. I'm one of the luckiest people that I know. All right, guys, love you dearly. Thank you so much. Another episode of BSA Live under our belt. And we will see you guys tomorrow for improv game night at BSA Live. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye. And this episode brought to you by Dom's Noisy Chips. You want to eat chips and you want noise at the same time? Call Dom. He'll hook you up.
Hey guys, it's Kendall. Thank you so much for watching the show. Please make sure you check out our BSA channel and like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.
And here comes Dom right on cue. All right, guys, that's a wrap. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.